says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you're lusting is the one you're loving?
Seem to be fearless. That's the other quality that I've noticed about you.
I'm afraid all the time, but I'm not afraid of anything.
You're not afraid of life.
No.
But therefore you cannot be afraid of death.
Mm-mm. I gave in to that, which was a great freeing production for me. Once I really admitted that I would die, that it is the one promise I can be sure will not be reneged upon.
That's true.
Once I understood that, then I could be present. And I'm totally present all the time. I try. Now, I don't make it all the time, but I try to bring all my stuff here in this studio. Everything I've got is here. And when I leave here, everything I've got will be in that taxi. It will be in the hotel.
That could be a dangerous philosophy if you think that you've got to live every single moment, because you could be greedy. You're not saying that.
No.
You know, take everything I can now.
No.
You don't mean that.
No, maybe just the opposite. Give everything I've got. Not take. I mean, what is that? Give everything. All the time.
Mm.
It's great fun. And it is liberating.
Mm.
Absolutely liberating.
Absolutely liberating. That is, of course, the great Maya Angelou. The inquirer, the interviewer, of course, is melanemic, and the concept of giving everything was just so, you could see her puzzlement. And I'm like, how do we get here where it's like things are so upside down, you know, even the notion of fear and then doing it, being afraid. She says, I'm afraid all the time, but that's part of the living of life. I was so upside down.
Can I say one thing?
You could say many things. Dr. Daniel Black is here, y'all.
I've been really thinking about something for the last 2 weeks, and I had no idea that this was going to come up. But the stage has been set now, so I'm going to say it. That really has been in my spirit, Karen. It's completely revolutionary. And that is, you know what? Death must be absolutely fantastic if God makes everybody do it. If God insists that you not miss it, it's got to be glorious. Why? Because if God is God, what God wants everybody to experience is always joy. It's always ecstasy. It's always growth. So if we must die and God won't let you skip it, God is so sovereign that God is saying, there's a glory, there's a magnificence in it that you're not going to know until you do it. But when you do, you're going to thank me.
You know what? First of all, I remember being a little girl afraid to die because my grandmother had died. And all I could think about is one day I'm not going to be here. And what is that going to feel like? And am I going to be in the dirt? Like I was like, 11 at the time that she passed. And as I evolve,
yes,
I don't look forward to death. I got things to do while I'm here. So I know I'm here to do some things, but I'm not afraid of it either. And until you just articulated something, because I was just having this conversation last night about, the things that I don't feel like doing that I end up doing. And then the other side of it, the hard things that I don't want to do, that I may want to run away from, but I do them anyway. On the other side of it, I'm so grateful that I did it.
So great.
Right. But we can't see the other side till we get there. Right. So if you never do the thing that you don't want to do, or if you never do the hard thing, then you never get to the other side to see how beneficial it is.
But here's why. Because if death is as wonderful and magnificent and glorious as I'm now playing with, as I'm guessing, you know what God knows? Oh, God, if you even glimpse it, you wouldn't dare step back. So God cannot show us, because we'd mess up our own living destiny. Because we would step away from the rest of this destiny if God showed us the true magnificence In other words, God is holding the last surprise.
Mm. And as you're saying that, I was looking at, there's a story about death by suicide on the rise among seniors and among young people. People don't want to be here. And folk are taking their lives, right? And right. Cutting short this journey, because it is hard. It's hard when you're alone. It's hard when the world is so crazy, things are on fire. Right. You're just like, I don't need to be here anymore. But it's part of the lived experience that once you overcome something, and I just think about that in terms of my ancestors. You're not going to be able to put your hands on us anymore. Because we already did that. And so that's done. But I just think about the endurance, because I'm also listening to Robert Moses's Radical Equations. And I'm thinking about Ella Baker, and I'm thinking about all of the movements that people organized around, and then the lynchings and all of the things that happened as a result of people just wanting to vote, and, Emmett Till and stuff. And I was like, man, we have been through a lot. And none of us living right now been enslaved or even been lynched, but that it sits with us to a point where we're warm. But I just think about, cutting your life short is part of the glory that you're talking about. The reward that you're talking about, or the goodness that you're talking about, comes with a job well done on earth. Like, I feel like you have to go through that thing to get that on the other side. I don't think you can cut it short.
In fact, not only do I agree with you, that's why we don't know anything about death whatsoever. Because God won't let you cut it short, because this is the requirement for that. And if you don't finish this, you cannot experience that. Only thing I'm trying to suggest to all of us, and I'm shouting about it within myself first, is if you think this was magnificent, the fact that you must die means God is saying, I wouldn't let you miss the blessing. See, we've been taught, right, in too many ways, that, oh my God, I don't know what that is. It could be horrible. It could be this burning in hell and all that. No. You got to switch the paradigm. If you serve a loving God, if you serve a God who adores you, if you serve a God who believes in you, if you serve a God who dreamed you, if you serve a God who loved your ancestors enough to keep that bloodline going until it reached you, then what must be true? What has got to be true is, baby, there is something on the other side of this sighted existence that will blow your mind. But you cannot know until you give a living life as the requirement for entry.
Meaning live your life.
You got to live it.
I love it. I'm here for it. And I like working through things live on the air. I like working through things, because I feel like we don't work through things in our minds enough. We just parrot things, or I heard something from somewhere, but you got to sit with something and work through it. Does it make sense to you?
That's why that chair is important. That's why that chair was important. You got to sit with some stuff.
Sit with it. Carry it with you. Carry that chair.
That's right.
Because you don't know when you might need to open that folded chair up and sit with yourself.
Sit with it. That's right.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one you're lusting is the one?